At the beginning, I accidentally traveled to a novel, and as soon as I opened my eyes, the system ordered me to destroy a woman. At this time, a cold voice sounded in my head. At 8 o'clock tonight, you are going to trick Xiao Anren to the Bay Hotel. Lu Qingze will be waiting for her there. The press conference was ambushed in advance. As long as the photo goes out, Xiao Anren's reputation will be ruined. I opened my eyes and saw myself in the mirror. The system continued. After completing the task, Lu Qingze will cancel the engagement with Xiao Anren. He will notice you. You will be the final winner. I looked down at the phone screen. A text message has been edited above. The recipient is Zhou Anren. The content is, Anran. I know Lu Cheng's secret. At 8 o'clock tonight, room 806 of the Bay Hotel. You come alone. As long as I click to send, the plot will begin. In the original book, Xiao Anren really went. She didn't see Lu Qingze. Only a man who was arranged. The reporter rushed into the room and took a photo. She was ridiculed by the whole city. Lu Qingze pretended to be disappointed and cancelled the engagement. And I, the vicious female supporting actress, thought I had finally won. But in the end, I didn't marry Lu Qingze. He just took advantage of me. When the Qiao family fell, when the Su family lost its value, he lost me too. I died in a car accident. Not even a last word. The system urged me. Please send a text message to the host immediately. I stared at my phone and smiled. Winner. The system pauses. I said, marrying a man with illegitimate children is also called a winner. The air was quiet for 3 seconds. The sound of the system suddenly became sharp. How do you know? I turned off my phone and threw it on the bed. So it's true. The system did not answer. The more silent it is, the more sure I am. Lu Qingze, the male protagonist of the original book, is gentle and affectionate on the surface. But in fact he has an illegitimate son for a long time. The child's mother is his white moonlight Su Man. While raising Su Man and his children, he was engaged to Xiao Anren. He wants the Qiao family's money and Su Man's gentleness. He wants everything. The original book wrote him as an affectionate male protagonist. I just feel sick. The system warned coldly. Host. Your task is not to evaluate the male protagonist. Your task is to maintain the plot. I won't do it. The system doesn't seem to understand. Please repeat the host. I stood up and walked to the window. Outside the window is the most exclusive hotel in the city center. The lights are bright and the traffic is like a golden river. The world is real. It's so real that I can smell the perfume in the room and feel the pain of my ankles being worn by high heels. I said, I don't frame Zhou Enron. The system was in a hurry. Then what do you want to do? I looked at my face in the glass. Beautiful, but unfamiliar eyes. The original owner of this body has done a lot of stupid things for Lu Qingze. She paid to please him. She attacked Zhou Anren. She thought that as long as she won the heroine, she would get the love of a man. But him, not her. I have done market research, customer negotiations, and crisis management in my old world. I've seen too many beautiful words. I know that what people should believe most is not promises, but evidence. I spoke slowly. I open a company. The system was stunned. What? I said, I have thought of the name of the company. The system asked, what company? I said word by word, Scumbag Appraisal Laboratory. The system was silent for a long time. Then it screamed, warning, the host's behavior seriously deviates from the plot. I sat back on the edge of the bed and deleted the text messages on my phone. Then I opened the memo and started writing about the company's business. The first item, help Bai Yueguang test whether Ba always has an illegitimate child. The second item, help the heroine test whether her fiancé can withstand the temptation. The third item, help the disliked female partner get a sky-high breakup fee. After writing, I feel very satisfied. The system is still calling in my head. Host. You must complete the original plot, otherwise you will be punished. The next second, my phone vibrated. Bank card balance reminder pops up. The original 7-digit balance instantly became triple-digit. The system said coldly, the first punishment, freeze liquidity. I looked at the poor string of numbers and stopped breathing. Very good. It comes true. Immediately afterwards, the phone rang. Caller ID is mother. I connected. A sharp female voice came out immediately. Sumi, what did you do again? The Lu family called just now and said that you were ignorant and that you had ruined Cheng's arrangement. I leaned back in my chair. I just didn't help him harm anyone. The other end of the phone was quiet for a second, and then became even angrier. What harms people? Do you know how important the Lu family is to us? Your dad's company also relies on Lu family investment. You have liked Qingze for so many years, and now you finally have the opportunity. Why are you crazy? I closed my eyes. The original owner's parents only care about profit. They never asked Sumi if she wanted to marry. They just wanted to send her to the Lu family in exchange for the company's continued life. I said, I won't chase Lu Qingze again. The mother gasped. What did you say? I said, I don't like him anymore. Sumi, are you crazy? I was calm. Maybe it's finally better. I hung up the phone. The next second, another call came in. This time it's Lu Qingze. I looked at the name, thought about it for 2 seconds, and took it. The man's voice was low, with habitual tenderness. Sumi, you didn't do what I said tonight. I laughed. Which one are you talking about? Trick Xiao Anren into going to the hotel, or help you destroy her? There was silence on the other end of the phone for a moment. When he spoke again, His voice was much lower. Don't talk nonsense. And Ran misunderstood me recently. I just wanted her to calm down. Letting a reporter take a picture of her is also called calmness. Sue me. His tone cooled. You weren't like this before. People always change. Don't forget. You like me. I almost laughed out loud. This man is really terribly confident. He thought that liking was a rope. As long as he holds it in his hand, the woman will kneel on her own. I said, Sumi liked you before. Now I don't like this. Lu Cheng's voice was completely cold. What do you want? Money. He seemed stunned for a moment. What? If you want me to shut up, you can give me money. The system warned me like crazy in my head. The host must not blackmail the male protagonist. I ignored it. Lu Cheng's sneered. When did you become so vulgar? From when I found out that you were worthless. He breathed heavily. Sumi, don't force me to do something to you. You can try. After saying that, I hung up the phone. The room finally fell silent. I took off my high heels and my ankles were already red. This was my first night after wearing the book. There is no romance. There is no male protagonist to save me. Only systematic punishment, family persecution. And a man pretending to be affectionate threatened me. I opened the closet. It's full of luxury goods, bags, skirts, jewelry, watches. The original owner bought a lot of things in order to participate in Lu Cheng's favorite banquet, but Lu Cheng's never looked at her seriously. I took pictures of these things one by one and hung them on the second-hand platform. At noon the next day, I got my first money. Not much, but enough to rent a small office. I didn't choose a high-end office building. I chose a small office close to the courthouse. Law firm and business hotel. Convenient location. The rent is acceptable. The landlord asked me what business I was doing. I said, relationship risk counseling. The landlord didn't understand. I added, to put it simply, help women see men clearly. The landlord was stunned for a moment, then gave me the key. Then your business should be good. I laughed. I think so too. 3 days later, the Scumbag Appraisal Institute officially opened. The signboard is simple. Black letters on white background. No pink. No love. No flowers. There is a sentence written on the front desk wall. We don't judge love. We only sort out evidence. On the first day of opening, people passing by the door were laughing. Someone took a photo and posted it online. Is there still such a company? Who would pay to identify a man? The most important thing in a relationship is trust. How boring it is to check around. I sat in my office, looking at the comments. Not in a hurry. Trust is important, of course, but trust without evidence is to hand over a knife to someone else. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the system appeared again. Host. Your actions have caused a plot shift. Please close the company immediately and restore your status as a female partner. I'm sorting out a business price list. I asked, what are the benefits of being a supporting woman? The system said, you can approach Lu Chengza, and then you can get his attention. Can I withdraw my attention? The system is stuck. I continued to ask, can I buy a house? Can you hire a lawyer? Can I survive the ending? The system did not answer. I print out the price list. Premarital risk assessment, starting from 50,000 yuan. Concealment of marriage history and child investigations, starting at 80,000. Breakup negotiation evidence collation, starting from 100,000 yuan. Emergency crisis management, separate calculation. The system sneered. No one will come. As soon as it finished speaking, the doorbell rang. I looked up. There was a woman standing outside the glass door. She was wearing sunglasses, a beige trench coat, and a little boy in her arms. The woman looks tired. The boy was about 3 years old, with exquisite facial features, but his eyebrows and eyes made my heart sink. I've seen this face. To be precise, I saw it in the illustrations of the original book. This child looks too much like Lu Chengza. The woman pushed the door in. She took off her sunglasses, revealing a pair of red and swollen eyes. Are you Sumi? I nodded. I am. She held the child in her arms tightly. Can you really check men here? Yes. The premise is that you pay and are willing to face the results. She sat down across from me and took out a document from her bag. My name is Sue Man. The system instantly sounds a piercing alarm. Key figures appear. The host must not be touched. I looked at the woman in front of me, and I already had the answer in my heart. Sue Man. Lu Cheng's White Moonlight. In the original book, she is a vicious woman who destroys the relationship between the male and female protagonists. But now she is sitting in front of me, her face pale and her fingers shaking. She doesn't look like a vicious female partner. She was like a person who had been trapped by lies for a long time. Sue Man pushed the document in front of me. I want to know if you will marry me. I looked down at the documents. It was a child's birth certificate. In my father's column, 3 words were clearly written. Lu Chengza. I was about to speak, but my throat felt like it was being choked by an invisible hand. I can't say a word. The system's voice sounded coldly. It is forbidden to leak the core plot. Otherwise, you will immediately lose your voice. I raised my head and looked at Sue Man. She was still waiting for my answer. The child lay in her arms and looked at me quietly. I clenched the birth certificate in my hand. At that moment, I knew that the system didn't just want me to be a vicious female partner. It wants me to shut up. It wants to keep all women in the dark. I put the birth certificate back on the table, then pick up a pen and write a sentence on paper. I can't tell you the answer directly. Su-man's face turned pale. I wrote another sentence, but I can help you find evidence. At this moment, another car stopped outside the office. The doors open. A young woman in a white suit walked down. She looked up at my sign. Her eyes calm and defensive. I recognized her. Jo is safe. The original heroine. She came too. When Xiao Anren walked in, Su-man was still sitting across from me. One is Lu Cheng's fiancé. One is Lu Cheng's old lover who has been hiding for many years. One was put in the sun by him. One was locked in the shadows by him. And the 3-year-old child was sitting in Su-man's arms. If this is the plot of the original book, they should hate each other at the moment. Xiao Anren will think that Su-man is shameless. Su-man will feel that Xiao Anren has taken her place. They will quarrel, cry, and hurt each other over the same man. In the end, Lu Chengza only needs to stand up and say don't make trouble, and all the responsibility will fall on the woman. But now, here I am. I don't intend to let this happen. When Jo Anren saw Su-man, his steps stopped. Her eyes fell on the child's face. In just a second, her face changed. She is smart. What smart people are most afraid of is not being able to understand, but understanding too quickly. Su-man also recognized Xiao Anren. She hugged the child tightly, and her body instantly stiffened. The air in the office became very cold. I can't speak yet. The punishment of the system has not been lifted. I picked up the white paper on the table and wrote 2 words. Sit down. Jo looked at me safely. Sumi, what trick do you want to play? Her voice was not high, but it was cold. She didn't cry or make noise. This made me feel a little more fond of her. The original book wrote her as a gentle and simple heroine, but in reality, Xiao Anren is obviously not a person at the mercy of others. I continued to write. I can't speak now. You can choose to leave, or you can choose to listen to me speak with evidence. Jo looked at me safely. You can't talk. I nodded. She frowned. Lu Qingze said that you opened this company to destroy our marriage contract. I wrote. What else did he say? Xiao Anren said. He said that you have always liked him, and recently because he is going to marry me, he is mentally unstable. I almost laughed. Lu Cheng's methods are very old-fashioned. Let's talk about women as crazy first, then say that you are a victim. I wrote on paper. Do you believe it? Jo was silent. She didn't answer, but she sat down. That's enough. I turned the computer screen to her. The above is a collation of public information. For the past 6 months, Lu Qingze has been going to the same private hospital on the 15th of every month. Each stay is not long. He has no registration record, no medical examination records, no treatment records. However, in the high-end ward of the hospital's pediatrics, the same child will be reviewed on the 15th of every month. The child's guardian is Su-man. Xiao Anren looked at the screen, his fingers slowly tightening. Su-man suddenly spoke. I didn't know that he was still lying to me when he was going to marry you. Xiao Anren looked at her. Su-man's voice trembled. He said you were just a business marriage. He said he would divorce after marriage. He said that when the Lu family idolized, he would take me and the child back. Xiao Anren did not speak. Su-man's eyes were red. I'm not here to rob you. I just want to know, what is it that my child and I are? This sentence is very light, but heavier than any quarrel. Xiao Anren looked at the child. The child did not know what was happening between the adults, just holding a small toy car. The car was new, with the logo of the Lu Group's anniversary printed on the body. Xiao Anren suddenly smiled, laughed coldly. So my fiancé is the last person to know. I wrote on paper. Now I know. It's not too late. Jo looked at me safely. What do you want from me? I wrote. Money. She was stunned. I continued. And sobriety. The office is quiet. After a while, Xiao Anren asked, how far can you help me find out? I wrote, find enough that you can cancel the marriage contract, keep the interests of the Qiao family, and make Lu Qingze pay the price. She looked at me as if she was judging whether I was setting up a game again. I understand her. The original owner had hurt her before. Trust is not built with a single word. So I pushed the contract over. Pay the deposit up front. All investigations are conducted through legal channels only. All evidence is not forged, induced, or edited. You can terminate the partnership at any time. Xiao Anren finished reading the contract. She asked, what if it turns out to be fake? I wrote, then I will refund the money and apologize publicly. What if it's true? I looked at her and slowly wrote, then you have to decide whether to continue to be a deceived person or a sober person. Xiao Anren stared at that sentence for a long time. Finally, she picked up a pen and signed her name. Su-man also signed. The system said coldly in my head, host, you are gathering people you shouldn't meet. I answer it in my heart. Yes, I just want them to meet. Many scams persist not because of how smart the scammers are. It is because the deceived person is separated. As long as they sit at the same table, the man's lies will automatically show cracks. In the evening, my voice returned. My throat still hurts. It's like swallowing a handful of sandpaper. Before Xiao Anren left, he looked at me and asked, why did you suddenly help me? I said, Because I don't want to see you ruined. You used to hate me. I used to have a bad eye. She looked at me. Are you okay now? At least I don't like Lu Qingze anymore. Xiao Anren didn't laugh, but her eyes were not as cold as when she first entered the door. After Su Man left with the child, I began to sort out the information. Lu Cheng's loopholes are more than I imagined. He is too used to being believed. I am too used to treating women as characters who will not fight back. Su Man provided a lot of transfer records. Lu Cheng's would give her a sum of money every month. The amount not fixed, sometimes 200,000, sometimes 500,000. The transfer account is not Lu Qingze himself, but a company called Mingyuan Consulting. This company ostensibly works as a business consultant, but in fact it has no employees, no business, and no normal tax records. The money flowed out of a supplier of the Lu Group, then through Mingyuan Consulting, and finally to Su Man's account. This is not a simple foster care. This is the transfer of funds. The more I checked, the more sober I became. Lu Qingze is not just scum. He is still greedy. At 10 o'clock in the evening, I received a message from Xiao Anren. She said that Lu Qingze asked her to dinner tomorrow. I asked her not to question. She asked why. I replied, men are best at acting without evidence. If you question him now, he will only destroy the evidence in advance. Xiao Anren replied with a word. Okay. The next day, Xiao Anren followed my suggestion and proposed a prenuptial agreement at the dinner table. The agreement is simple. First, both parties disclose premarital debts. Second, both parties disclose all companies and assets under their actual control. Third, the parties confirm that there is no undisclosed marriage history, de facto marital relationship, or illegitimate children. Fourth, if either party conceals material facts, the marriage contract will be automatically terminated and compensation for breach of contract will be borne by the party. Xiao Anren told me that after she finished speaking, Lu Cheng's face changed on the spot. He asked her if anyone had taught her. Xiao Anren said, this is my own decision. Lu Chengze asked, you don't believe me? Xiao Anren replied, trust does not affect the signing of the agreement. When I saw this, I couldn't help but laugh. Very good. The heroine began to wake up, but Lu Chengze will not sit still. That afternoon, he came to my office. He didn't make an appointment. Directly entered the door with 2 bodyguards. The little girl at the front desk turned pale with fright. I asked her to go to the lounge and poured Lu Chengze a glass of water myself. Mr. Lu, is there something? Lu Chengze did not sit down. He looked at me with gloomy eyes. Sue me. What the hell do you want to do? Open a company. You check me. Customer entrustment. Legal service. Zhou Anren is my fiancé. It may not be soon. His eyes were cold. What do you think you caught? I smile. You're so nervous. It seems like I did catch something. Lu Chengze took a step forward. Sue me. I gave you a chance before. If you are obedient, I will not treat you badly. How are you going not to treat me badly? Let me be your secret lover. Or let me take the blame for you. His face finally became ugly. Don't make it so ugly. Then you look good. The temperature in the office seemed to have dropped. Lu Chengze stared at me. Does your father's company still want to live? The smile on my face slowly subsided. He continued. You stop now. I can pretend nothing happened. If you continue to investigate, I promise that the Su family will fall first. Then you go knock it down. He narrowed his eyes. I said, Lu Chengze, have you forgotten? I opened a scumbag appraisal office. The more you threaten me, the more valuable I am. Do you really think you can beat me? Just as I was about to answer, a calm male voice came from the door. She's alone. Maybe troublesome. Add me. Not necessarily. I looked up. A man stands at the door. He was wearing a dark gray suit. A tall figure. And cold eyes. He didn't have a bodyguard with him, but he stood there with a sense of oppression more than the 2 people Lu Chengze brought. Lu Chengze turned his head to see him, and his face immediately sank. Lin Yihui. My heart moved. Lin Yihui, the business villain in the original book. He is Lu Cheng's biggest opponent. In the original plot, he would compete with Lu Chengze for the project in the later stage, and then failed and was written as a dark and paranoid villain. But the man standing in front of me at this moment didn't feel out of control at all. He was calm. Calm like a knife in its sheath. Lin Yihui walked into the office and glanced at Lu Chengze. Mr. Lu brought people to a small company. Is it to talk about business, or to threaten female entrepreneurs? Lu Chengze sneered. It's none of your business. Now it's relevant. Lin Yihui put a document on the table. Ms. Su's company has signed a consulting contract with my legal team. If you want to talk, you can talk to a lawyer. I looked at him. When did I sign it? Lin Yihui also looked at me. His eyes were calm, as if to say, you can sign now. I picked up the document and flipped through it. The contract is clean. The price is reasonable. And there are no pitfalls. At least I don't see it for the time being. I picked up a pen and signed my name. Lu Cheng's face was even more ugly. Lin Yihui, in order to deal with me, you even use this kind of woman. Lin Yihui's tone was very light. At least she's more honest than you. Lu Chengze looked at us and suddenly smiled. Okay, sue me. You will regret it. I said, it is best to write your words into your testimony. Lu Chengze turned around and left. The moment the door closed, The office fell silent. I looked at Lin Yihui. Thank you, but I don't remember that we knew. Lin Yihui sat across from me. Now we know. Why did Mr. Lin help me? Because you are checking Lu Qingze. Are you checking him too? Yes. What to check? Lin Yihui looked at me. Lu's group recently had an abnormal flow of funds related to a shell consulting company. My heart skipped a beat. Mingyuan Consulting. Lin Yihui's eyes finally changed. You found out. I didn't deny it. I can't give you customer information. I don't need you to give it to me. Then what are you doing? Lin Yihui looked at me. I want to know why Miss Su suddenly became smarter. I snapped my finger. He continued. 3 days ago. You were still jealous of Lu Qingze. 3 days later, you opened a company, took over his white moonlight and fiancé, and accurately avoided all illegal investigation risks. His tone was not mocking. Just state the facts. It's not like you. I smiled. When people are stimulated, they will always grow. It may also be a different person. When this sentence fell, the system suddenly sounded a sharp alarm. Anomalous characters detected. Lin Yihui is not controlled by the plot. My back tightened a little bit. Lin Yihui looked at me. He seemed to see my nervousness. He didn't ask any questions. Just stood up. Miss Su. I don't care who you are. At least for now. We have a common goal. Lu Qingze and the Lu family. He walked to the door and stopped again. Just a reminder. Lu Qingze will not only threaten you. He will attack your reputation first. I said. I know. Lin Yihui looked at me. His eyes a little deeper. Then get ready. The door is closed. The system is still repeating alarms in my head. Abnormal character. Abnormal character. I sat down in my chair and exhaled slowly. The world is more complex than I thought. Lu Qingze is not the only danger. The system isn't the only SEC. Red either. And Lin Yihui is obviously not the simple villain in the original book. That's when I received a new email in my mailbox. The sender is anonymous. The title is only 5 words. Third customer. I clicked on the email. Inside is a photo. In the photo, a woman kneels in the rain with a man in a suit standing in front of her. The man looked down at her with disgust in his eyes. There is a sentence written under the photo. Yi Jiwan, 28 years old, accompanied her boyfriend to start a business for 7 years. Tomorrow, she will be scolded by the whole network as a crazy woman who is greedy for money. I stared at the anonymous email for a long time. Yi Jiwan. I remember the name. She is not the main character. She is just a very small side female supporting character in the original book. Her story occupies only a few chapters, but those chapters left a deep impression on me because she was so miserable. She accompanied her boyfriend Zhou Qiming to start a business for 7 years. At the hardest time, she worked 3 jobs a day. During the day, he helped him sort out customer information, accompanied him to socialize at night, and went home in the early morning to change the product plan. The company had no money to pay salaries, so she used her savings to make up for it. When Zhou Qiming was in debt, she signed a guarantee for him. Later the company succeeded. Zhou Qiming became a young entrepreneurial star. He appeared in financial magazines, participated in high-end cocktail parties, and chatted and laughed with people in the capital circle. Then he disliked Yi Ji. He said she couldn't get on the stage. He said she didn't understand business. He said she was just his ex-girlfriend, not his partner. He gave her a check, 200,000. 7 years after the buyout, Yi Jiwan collapsed. She went to the company to make trouble, cried at the press conference, and begged Zhou Qiming's new fiancé to turn back. In the end, everyone said she was crazy. Zhou Qiming's public relations team released a clip of her, saying that she was greedy for money, that she was entangled, and that she used her feelings to kidnap successful men. She was cyberbullied. She lost her job. She left the city. In the original book, Zhou Qiming is only one of Lu Qingze's partners. He was not even punished. He later got engaged to the daughter of a rich family and took his career to the next level. And Yi Zaiwan's pain is just a plot tool used to prove that women can't be too entangled. I turned off my email, feeling cold. The system said, "Host, please do not contact the side characters. The side plot does not affect the main story." I asked, "Who doesn't affect?" The system did not answer. Don't affect Lu Qingze. Does not affect Zhou Anren. Or does it not affect the world to continue to use women's pain as a background? The system said coldly, "This is the story rule." I said, "Then change the rules." At 9 o'clock the next morning, Yi Jiwan came. She is thinner than in the photo. The face is pale, and there is a heavy cyan under the eyes. She was wearing an old coat and holding a bag of documents in her hand. When the front desk brought her in, she kept her head down. I sat her down and poured her a glass of warm water. She didn't drink. She looked at me and the first thing she said was, "I don't have much money." I said, "Then why are you here?" She looked up. There was fatigue in those eyes, and there was a fire that was about to go out. "Someone sent me your address." The man said, "You can let me get back what I deserve." I looked at her. "Do you want to get Zhou Qiming back?" She immediately shook her head. Shake quickly, as if I was afraid of misunderstanding. "No." She squeezed the document bag tightly with her fingers. "I don't want him anymore. I just want to know if my 7 years are worthless." This sentence silenced me for a moment. When many women first come to find answers, they don't really want men to turn back. They just want to prove that they are not a joke. I said, Show me what you have. Yi Jiwan opened the document bag. It's messy inside. There is a record of transfers. There are handwritten notes. There is an old contract. There are photos. There is an early company promotional page. She explained in a low voice while taking it. This was the first money I gave him back then. 50,000. I had just worked for 2 years and gave him all my savings. This is the first client I helped him talk to. He said I was his girlfriend and it was inconvenient to write my name. This is a product solution. I wrote it, but it was his name signed at the press conference. This is the guarantee I made for him in the year he was in debt. This is the message he sent me. He said that the company will have half of me in the future. At the end, she said, her voice getting quieter and quieter. But now, he said it was just a joke when he was in love. I looked at the materials. It's messy, but not weak. Yi Jiwan is not without evidence. She just never used these things as weapons. She has been trained by feelings for too long. She used to prove that she loved him, but I forgot to prove that I had aid. I sorted out the information one by one. Then he said to her, you can ask for money. She looked at me. I continued, you can also ask for share compensation. You were involved in the construction of the company in the early stages, providing funding, taking on debt, and contributing to core initiatives. You are not your average ex-girlfriend. You are a hidden actual contributor. Yi Jiwan's lips trembled, but he said I don't have a formal position. No position does not mean no contribution. He said I didn't sign an equity agreement. Without an equity agreement, it doesn't mean that compensation cannot be negotiated. He said that if I make trouble, I won't be able to stay in the industry. I looked at her. Then don't make trouble. She was stunned. I said, from today onwards, you will not go to the door of his company. Go to his fiancée. Post long emotional articles, and accept any unrecorded conversations. Then what should I do? Sleep, eat, list all the evidence you can think of. Her eyes turned red. That's it. One more thing. What? Remember, you're not begging him to turn back. You are asking him to pay the bill. Yi Jiwan lowered his head, tears falling on the back of his hand. She didn't cry, just nod vigorously. I called a lawyer. It was introduced by Lin Yihui. The lawyer's surname is Chin. He is in his 40s and does things very neatly. After reading the information, he said, we can talk about it. If the other party is unwilling to talk, we can prepare from several directions. Debt guarantee, labor contribution, knowledge achievements and reputation infringement. Yi Jiwan listened very carefully. Every time she listened to a sentence, her back straightened a little. I love watching a woman sit up straight again. That is more powerful than any declaration of revenge. In the afternoon, Mr. Chen issued his first lawyer's letter. The recipients are Zhou Qiming and his company. The other party was asked to stop stigmatizing Yi Jiwan, preserve the company's early project documents, email records, and financial vouchers, and enter into formal negotiations within 3 days. In the evening, Zhou Qiming's phone reached Yi Jiwan's mobile phone. She looked at me. I nodded, motioned for her to turn on the speakerphone, and recorded. As soon as the phone was connected, the man's angry voice came out. Yi Jiwan, are you crazy? You actually found a lawyer. Yi Jiwan clenched his phone. She glanced at me. I wrote on paper. Don't explain. Let him say. She took a deep breath. I'm just going to get back what I deserve. Zhou Qiming sneered. What do you deserve? I've raised you for so many years, and you're still not satisfied. Yi Jiwan's face turned white, but she didn't break down. Zhou Qiming continued. Those things were voluntary to you back then. The money is given by yourself. The plan is written by yourself. And the customer is you who accompany me to me. Now that I see that I have succeeded, I want to get a piece of the pie. I wrote on paper. Ask him what he promised. Yi Jiwan asked. You said back then that the company has half of me. Zhou Qiming said impatiently. Do you take the words between couples seriously? I was just making you happy at that time. I looked at Lawyer Chin. Lawyer Chin nodded slightly. This sentence is useful. Zhou Qiming didn't know he was recording and continued. I warn you, if you dare to continue to make trouble, I will let everyone know what kind of woman you are. You have been with me for 7 years. Don't you just want to marry me and be the boss wife? Yi Jiwan's eyes were red, but the voice is still steady. I don't want to marry you anymore. The other end of the phone was silent for a second. Zhou Qiming didn't seem to expect her to say that. Yi Jiwan continued. I just want money. Zhou Qiming was completely angry. You're really for money? I nodded to Yi Jiwan. She said, yes. Zhou Qiming was stunned. Yi Jiwan said word by word. When I pay off your debts, it is money. When I invest your first startup capital, it's money. When I help you talk about customers, it's money. When I stay up late to write a plan, it's also money. You cannot love me, but you can't say that my 7 years are free. The other end of the phone was dead. I looked at Yi Jiwan and couldn't help but applaud her in my heart. Zhou Qiming hung up the phone. Soon, he began to fight back. The next morning, a video appeared online. In the video, Yi Jiwan stands in the rain, crying and stopping Zhou Qiming's car. She said, you can't do this to me. The picture only ends here. There is no antecedent, no consequence. The caption is, after successfully starting a business, he was entangled by his ex-girlfriend, and Zhou Qiming was suspected of being emotionally blackmailed. Comments exploded quickly. Some people say that Yi Jiwan is unseemly. Some people say that women are too scary after breaking up. Some people say that when a man succeeds, His ex-girlfriend wants to share the money. Some people also picked up the Scumbag Appraisal Institute and said that I was the mastermind behind it. This company specializes in teaching women to blackmail men. Right. It's disgusting. If the relationship fails, you will admit defeat. Why should you ask for money? The boss Sumi has chased Lu Qingze before, and he failed to get to the top, and now he teaches others to destroy feelings. The system laughed in my head. Post. Public opinion punishment has been launched. Immediately afterwards, my body suddenly ached. It was like an electric current passing through the heart. I held on to the table, my face instantly turning white. The system said, new task released. Close the Scumbag Appraisal Office immediately. Return to Lu Qingze. Otherwise, health is deducted every 6 hours. I gritted my teeth. The pain came up one after another. The front desk rushed in. Sister Sue, are you okay? I waved my hand. It's okay. It actually hurts. It hurts so much that my eyes turned black. But I know that the more urgent the system, the more effective it is in what I do. When Lin Yihui came, I was sitting in the conference room reading public opinion data. He stood at the door and frowned. Your face is very bad. I said, I didn't sleep well. He put a bottle of water and a box of medicine on the table. Painkillers. I looked at him. Mr. Lin is so good at taking care of partners. If you fall now, Lu Qingze will be very happy. So you are here to deal with Lu Qingze. He looked at me. It's also for you. This sentence is calming. There is no ambiguous prolonged sound, and there is no deliberately suppressed voice. But my heart still moved slightly. I look away. Thank you. Lin Yihui sat down and looked at the screen. What are you going to do? Live. The risk is very high. The risk of silence is greater. He said, how much evidence do you have? I pushed the information to him. It's enough for Zhou Qiming to regret posting this video. Lin Yihui turned a few pages. His eyes sank slightly. He's very bold. It's not that he's bold. It's that he never thought that Yi Zhiwan would sort out the evidence. Lin Yihui raised his eyes to look at me. You know this kind of person very well, because this kind of person is everywhere. 2 hours later, the Scumbag Appraisal Institute held its first live broadcast. I didn't wear heavy makeup. No crying. It didn't sell miserably. I sat in front of the camera, with white walls and company slogans behind me. We don't judge love. We only sort out the evidence. The live broadcast room was full of scolding at first. The extortion company is coming. The boss came out and pretended to be rational. Do you specialize in teaching women to ask for money? I was in no hurry to refute. I opened the first profile. This is the transfer record of 50,000 yuan that Yi Zhiwan gave to Zhou Qiming 7 years ago. At that time, Zhou Qiming's company had not yet been registered, and the money was used to pay for the earliest office space deposit and equipment costs. I opened the second document. This is the first version of the product plan. The creator of the document is Yi Zhiwan. It was created 3 months earlier than the company's presentation. The third copy. This is early customer mail. The first person the customer contacted was Yi Zhiwan. Zhou Qiming later claimed that this customer was personally discussed by him. The fourth copy. This is a debt guarantee document. When the company's funds are broken, Yi Zhiwan is jointly and severally liable as a guarantor. The fifth copy. This is a recording of last night's phone call. Zhou Qiming personally admitted that he had told Yi Zhiwan that the company had half of her. I didn't play them all. Only the legal and public parts were played. Zhou Qiming's Voic. Came out clearly. Do you take the words between couples seriously? I was just making you happy at that time. The comments in the live broadcast room were quiet for a moment. Then the change begins. Wait a minute. This is different from what is said on the internet. Right. She's not just an ex-girlfriend. She paid for it. 7 years for 200,000 yuan. Who will you send? Zhou Qiming is so disgusting. So was that video in the rain edited? I took out the last piece of information. Erased the full video. In the picture, Yi Zhiwan stands in the rain. Not entangled. She just went to get her computer and documents. Zhou Qiming asked the security guard to stop her outside the door. He said, don't come again. You look ugly now. Yi Zhiwan said, I only take my things. Zhou Qiming said, there is nothing about you in the company. She asked, don't you even have my computer? Zhou Qiming said, that's the company's property. She said in a broken state, you can't do that to me. This is the sentence that was cut. The live broadcast room was completely reversed. The number of viewers is getting higher. Retweets are getting more and more. Zhou Qiming's company's official account quickly closed comments. His new fiancée was also involved. The rich was very direct. She issued a statement. I do not accept marital relationships based on deception and appropriation of the fruits of others. Engagement cancelled. Yi Zhiwan sat next to me, looking at the screen. Tears streaming down his face. She was not sad. It is finally seen. Before the live broadcast ended, I looked at the camera and said, I'm going to say it again. The Scumbag Appraisal Institute is not responsible for breaking up anyone or getting anyone back together. We only do one thing. Put the facts covered by lies back on the table. After the live broadcast, Zhou Qiming called. This time he was not looking for Yi Zhiwan. It's me. I answered. His voice trembled, not knowing whether he was angry or afraid. Sumi, do you know who you offended? I said. A man who doesn't want to pay the bill. Don't be too proud. I can sue you. Yes. My lawyer will wait for your subpoena. How much do you want? I laughed. Not how much I want. It is Yi Shi who knows how much he should get in the evening. He gritted his teeth. She doesn't have a big appetite. Don't worry. I glanced at Yi Jiwan. She sat up straight. Her eyes were different. I said to the other end of the phone, she's going to be big. 3 days later, negotiations began. Zhou Qiming was only willing to give 500,000 yuan at first. Yi Jiwan did not speak. I put out the information for her. An hour later, the amount became 2 million. Mr. Chan continued to supplement the evidence. 2 hours later, it became 5 million. Finally, when Lin Yihui's people sent a backup record of the early server, Zhou Qiming's lawyer's face completely changed. Backup records show that the key model design of the company's first core product was first submitted by Yi Jiwan. This means that once sued, Zhou Qiming will not just lose money, his entrepreneurial myth would collapse completely. In the end, Zhou Qiming agreed to pay cash compensation of 15 million and transfer the company's 3-share income right. At the moment of signing, Yi Zaiwan's hands were shaking. I thought she would cry, but she didn't. She just looked at Zhou Qiming and said, I really loved you before. Zhou Qiming's face was ugly. Yi Jiwan continued, but that's not the reason why you stole my life. She signed the name. As the pen tip fell, I heard a screeching cracking sound from the system. It was like something was broken. The side plot failed. The female supporting actress Yi Zaiwan's fate is offset. Post danger level rises. I looked up at the glass window of the conference room. The sun was nice outside. When Yi Jiwan walked out, his back was straight. At that moment, I felt a little less painful. In the evening, everyone in the company had a celebration meal together. Yi Jiwan drank a little wine. She said to me, Sumi, thank you. I said, don't thank me. It is you who keep the evidence. She shook her head. Not everyone knows that evidence is useful. I used to only know how to cry. I looked at her. Don't just cry in the future. She smiled. I'll charge in the future. I laughed too. After eating, I went back to the office. The lights are still on. Lin Yihui stood by the window, holding a document in his hand. Zhou Qiming has Lu Chengxi's investment behind it. I took the documents. Not surprising. So he didn't fight back alone. Someone pushed behind him. Lin Yihui nodded. Lu Chengxi wants to use him to test you. Result: he lost. I leaned against the table and finally felt a little tired. The pain left by the systematic punishment is still there. My fingers were a little numb. Lin Yihui glanced at me. What the hell are you fighting against? I looked up. His eyes were deep. He didn't ask casually. He has noticed. I was silent for a while. If I say, it's fate. Lin Yihui didn't smile. He just said, then list fate as an opponent. My heart shook slightly. This man is too calm. It was so calm that it scared me a little. There is also some peace of mind. I was just about to speak when the computer suddenly turned on. A new email will automatically pop up in your mailbox. There is no sender. No TI. Plea. I clicked. There was only one sentence in it. You think you're saving them, but you're actually hastening their death. The attachment is a photo. In the photo, a black car crashed next to the guardrail of a mountain road. The front of the car is severely deformed. The ground is full of broken glass. I enlarged the photo. I saw the license plate. It was Zhou Anren's car. There is a line of time in the lower right corner of the photo. 3 days later. 4:27 p.m. The sound of the system sounded in my head. This time, it didn't scream. It was calming. It was terribly calm. The mainline correction is about to begin. Goal: Zhou Anren. Death plot. Countdown to 72 hours. I stared at the photo, my fingers getting cold little by little. Zhou Anren's car hit the guardrail. The front of the car is deformed. The front windshield shattered. The time in the lower right corner of the photo is clear. 3 days later. 4:27 p.m. The system said in my head, the mainline correction is about to begin. Goal: Zhou Anren. Death plot. Countdown to 72 hours. My ears fell silent. The sound of traffic outside, the sound of air conditioning in the office, and the sound of Lin Yihui flipping through documents all seemed to be separated from a long distance. I suddenly understood something. The system doesn't just publish tasks. It kills. If Zhou Anren no longer marries Lu Qingze according to the plot, it will let her leave early. If Su Man stops being a shameful white moonlight, it will destroy her. If Yi Jiwan no longer acts as an abandoned crazy woman, it will arrange for her to be cyberbullied, humiliated, and driven away. It is not maintaining the story. It is maintaining an old set of rules. Women must suffer. Women must misunderstand. Women must self-destruct for the sake of men. Whoever does not bow his head will be deleted. Lin Yihui found that my face was wrong. Sumi. I looked up at him. He came over and saw a picture on the computer screen. His eyes immediately sank. This is Zhou Anren's car. Yes. Where did the photo come from? Anonymous email. He bent down and looked at the photo carefully. The time is 3 days later. Yes. Lin Yihui looked at me. Do you believe this is true? I was silent for a few seconds. I can't say about the system. At least not now. As soon as I say the system arranges Zhou to die safely, my throat will be blocked. I gave it a try. Zhou Anren will. The words at the back are stuck in the throat. The severe pain came instantly. I felt like I was being choked by someone. bent down and coughed. Lin Yihui immediately supported me. Don't say it. I grabbed the edge of the table and slowed down for a long time before breathing again. Lin Yihui looked at me, his eyes terribly cold. Someone won't let you say it. I looked at him without nodding or shaking my head. He didn't push me. Just pick up your phone. I asked someone to check Xiao Anren's itinerary for the next 3 days. I whispered. Don't alarm her. I know. Don't alarm Lu Qingze either. After he finished speaking, he walked to the window and called. His voice was low and steady. I sat in my chair and looked at the picture on the screen. 72 hours. Time is running out. Zhou Anren must survive. Not just because she is the heroine of the original book, but also because she is a living person. She shouldn't have been arranged to die just because she rejected a liar. Half an hour later, Lin Yihui's people found out Xiao Anren's itinerary. 3 days later, in the afternoon, she was going to visit her mother in a nursing home on the outskirts of the city. There will be a mountain road on the way. That section of the road is exactly where it is in the photo. I immediately called Xiao Anren. After the phone was connected, her voice was a little tired. Sumi, you're going to a nursing home in 3 days. She paused. How do you know? Don't go. She didn't immediately ask why. She trusts me now more than before, but she was still sensible. Reason. I opened my mouth. Your car. My throat began to tighten again. I immediately changed my mind. There is a new problem with your premarital assets review. I need you to come to my com. Pay me in 3 days in the afternoon to confirm in person. Joe was silent. Very urgent. It's urgent. Can't advance. I glanced at the time on my computer. If the system wants her to have an accident at that time, I have to make her appear elsewhere at that time. No. I can't. It must be between 4 and 5 p.m. That day, Xiao Anren's voice was lowered. What are you hiding from me? I whispered. I'm saving you. The other end of the phone was quiet for a long time. Finally, she said, okay. It'll come. I breathed a sigh of relief. But that's not enough. If the system can arrange a car accident, it may arrange other things. We must find out who is doing it in reality. The next day, Lin Yihui's people found Xiao Anren's car. The car was parked in the underground garage of Xiao's house. There are no problems with the surface. However, after inspection by a professional technician, it was found that the brake system was passive. The movements are fine. It's not something that ordinary maintenance workers can do. If she goes up a mountain road, the brakes will fail when going downhill continuously. Lin Yihui put the report in front of me. It's not an accident. I looked at the report and felt a chill in my heart. Someone wants to kill her. Yes. Can you find out who it is? Garage surveillance is covered, but the person who covers the surveillance is not a master and leaves traces. Lin Yihui paused. Lu Cheng's assistant. Chen Bai. I closed my eyes. Sure enough, the system drives the plot. Lu Qingze executed. One of them is in the dark and the other is in the light. And Xiao Anren was just an obstacle in their plan. I asked, is there evidence to arrest him? It's not enough now. Then let him move again. Lin Yihui looked at me. You want to set up a game? Yes. It's dangerous. She's more dangerous. I looked at the car accident photo. If we just prevent Joe from going out, they will know that the plan failed. They will change again. Lin Yihui did not immediately object. He sat down across from me. Tell me your plan. I called Xiao Anren to the company. This time, Su Man also came. I didn't go around again. I can't say about the system, but I can say that there is evidence of reality. I put the brake test report in front of Xiao Anren. After she finished reading, her face turned pale. Su Man was holding the child, and his hands were shaking. He really kills. Xiao Anren didn't cry. She just stared at the report. I have known him since I was a child. Her voice was soft. I know he is selfish. I know he lied to me. And I know he wants the resources of the Qiao family. But I didn't expect that he would want me to die. I said, many people don't believe in danger because danger has laughed at them. Zhou Anren looked up at me. The eyes are red. But she didn't cry. What am I going to do? I said, pretend you're going to a nursing home. Su Man immediately said, this is too dangerous. She won't really go. I looked at Lin Yihui. We arranged for a car of the same model to take the original route. There was no one in the car. With remote control. Lin Yihui nodded. Yes. Xiao Anren asked. Then what? Bring out the person who did it. After I finished speaking, I looked at her. But it requires your cooperation. You have to continue to contact Lu Qingze and make him think you haven't found out. Xiao Anren's fingers slowly clenched. Okay. Su Man looked at her. You don't have to force it. Zhou Anren turned his head to look at her. The two women looked at each other. There for a few seconds. Once, they should have been enemies. Now, they are sitting at the same table. Xiao Anren said, he lied to the two of us. Now it's time for him to be afraid. On the afternoon of the third day, the plan began. Xiao Anren's car left Xiao's house at the original time. The windows are covered with a dark film. You can't see the inside clearly from the outside. Lu Cheng's people really followed. The people arranged by Lin Yihui have been monitoring in the dark. Xiao Anren and I sat in the CONF. Iren's room of the Scumbag Appraisal Institute. The electronic screen on the wall shows the location of the vehicle. At 4:20 p.m. The car entered the mountain road. The system started counting down in my head. 7 minutes. 6 minutes. 5 minutes. My palms are full of sweat. Xiao Anren sat next to me, his face very pale. But he didn't say a word. Su-man sat on the other side with the child in his arms. The child is already asleep. He did not know how many people's fate would be changed by what happened today. 4:27 p.m. The car on the screen suddenly veered off course and rushed towards the guardrail. My heart tightened violently. In the next second, the remote control system starts the saver. The car was not crashed, but was parked on the side of the road. Almost at the same time, a man in black rushed out from the other side of the mountain road. He ran towards the car, as if to make sure that the people in the car were not dead. The people who were ambushed nearby rushed up and pinned him to the ground. Lin Yihui's phone rang. He connected and listened for a few seconds. Caught. The conference room was quiet. Zhou Anren closed her eyes and finally shed a tear. Not weakness. After that, I was afraid. The man in black was quickly taken to safety. He is not Chinbai, just a person who collects money to do things. But in his mobile phone, there are Chenbei's transfer records and chat records. Chenbai asked him to stay on the side of the road. If Xiao Anren didn't die after the car accident, he would make up for it. When he saw this line, Su-man covered his mouth and almost spit it out. Zhou Anren stood up. She walked to the window, her back straight. I knew she was burying with her own hands the people she once trusted. That night, Chenbai was taken away by the police. He refused to say anything at first, until Lin Yihui's people put the flow of funds, call records and mountain road monitoring in front of him. He broke down. He provided Lu Qingze. He said that Lu Qingze knew that Xiao Anren was already suspicious of illegitimate children and assets. Once Xiao Anren cancels the engagement, the Lu family will lose the cooperation of the Qiao family. So Lu Qingze decided to create an accident. As long as Xiao Anren died, the Qiao family would be in chaos. Lu Qingze can approach the core assets of the Qiao family as a fiancé. At the end of his speech, his voice changed. I just do as I am told. I didn't really want to kill anyone. When Xiao Anren listened to the recording, he did not speak. The next morning, she held a press conference. She was wearing a black suit and standing in front of the camera. No crying, not much explanation. She only said 3 things. First, she officially cancelled her marriage contract with Lu Qingze. Second, the Qiao family terminated all cooperation with the Lu family. Third, she will cooperate with the police in the investigation to the end regarding Lu Qingze and his assistant suspected of endangering her personal safety. The reporter kept asking questions. Miss Qiao, does Mr. Lu really have an illegitimate child? Is your cancellation of the marriage contract related to a third party? Is Sumi manipulating you behind your back? Zhou looked at the camera safely. No woman controls me. I just finally know the truth. After the press conference, Lu Cheng's stock price began to fall. The Lu family is in chaos. The system is also messed up. Its sound became cluttered in my head. The mainline marriage contract is broken. The heroine's fate is offset. The male protagonist's luck has declined. Correction failed. I was sitting in my office when I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my chest. It hurts more than ever before. It's like someone broke my bones one by one. I couldn't stand still and fell straight to the ground. The front desk exclaimed, "Sister Sue." I opened my mouth to say it was okay, but I couldn't make a sound. It was dark in front of me. The final picture was Lin Yihui rushing in and picking me up. For the first time, his face lost its composure. He called my name. Sumi, Sumi, look at me. I want to answer him, but I can't say anything. I passed out. When I woke up, I was not in the hospital. I was in a quiet house. The curtains are half open, and there is a large green space outside. The room was clean. There was water, medicine, and a small warm lamp at the head of the bed. Lin Yihui sat by the window. He didn't sleep. Seeing me awake, he came over. How does it feel? I tried to speak. The voice was hoarse as his own. Alive. He poured a glass of water and handed it to me. The doctor has examined that there is no organic problem in your body, but you feel like you're in severe pain and shock. I took a sip of water. My throat still hurts. Thank you. Lin Yihui did not answer this sentence. He stood on the edge of the bed and looked at me. Sumi, I want to ask you a question. I clenched my cup. Ask. Are you from another world? The room was quiet enough that I could hear my heartbeat. I looked up at him. His eyes were very steady. No fear. There is no disgust. There is no curiosity either. He just wanted to know the answer. I was silent for a long time. Finally, nodded. Lin Yihui did not show a shocked expression. He seemed to have guessed it a long time ago. I asked in a low voice, aren't you afraid? What are you afraid of? I'm not the original Sumi. I know. When did you find out? Seeing you for the first time. He sat down in his chair. When Sumi looked at Lu Qingze, he only had obsession in his eyes. When you look at him, it's like reading a risk report. I couldn't help but laugh. After laughing, I felt a sore throat. Lin Yihui pushed the water glass towards me. The world is not normal. I looked at him. He continued. Many people make illogical choices at critical moments. Smart people suddenly become stupid. Sane people suddenly go crazy. and people with evidence suddenly become silent. My heart slowly sank. Lin Yihui said, I used to think this was human nature. Later I found out. No. Why? Because I was also pushed away. He looked out the window. Originally, I should have lost to Lu Qingze in a project. At that time, all the data proved that my plan was better, but my team suddenly made a collective mistake and the partner suddenly changed his choice. I also became less like myself during that time. How did you get rid of it? I didn't get rid of it completely, he said. Until you refused to frame Zhou Anren. I was stunned. Lin Yihui looked at me. From that day on, something loosened. I suddenly understood. I'm not the only one fighting the system. In this world, there are also people who have been instinctively resisting. It's just that they don't know who the enemy is. I whispered. It's called a system. As soon as he said it, a piercing alarm immediately came from his head. But this time, I didn't lose my voice. Maybe it's because the system is already compromised. Maybe it's because Lin Yihui was not controlled by it in the first place. I continued. It keeps me going. Let me frame Zhou Anren. Let me go back to Lu Qingze. It punishes me as long as I refuse. After hearing this, Lin Yihui's eyes became very cold. Can it control people in reality? It will push. But it is still people who really do it. For example, Lu Qingze. Yes. I took a deep breath. It's not God. It exploits human greed, fear, and arrogance. Lin Yihui was silent for a moment. Then there is still a chance. I looked at him. Don't you think it's ridiculous? Absurdity does not mean it does not exist, he said. I only look at the results. Now the result is that it wants to kill you. My heart was lightly knocked by these words. You, not them. It's you. He put me in the group of people who needed to be protected. I bowed my head. Lin Yihui, I may die, he said. Then don't die first. A very simple sentence. No exaggerated promises. I didn't say he would definitely save me, but I suddenly felt my nose sour. Since I came into this world, I have been fighting against the invisible. I behaved sober, tough. Like I wasn't afraid of anything. But of course I'm afraid. I'm afraid of pain. Afraid of being erased. I'm afraid that I won't change anything in the end. Lin Yihui stood up and pulled the curtains open. The sun is shining. He said, Sumi, if you want to fight, I will fight with you. If you want to leave, I will send you away. I looked at him. If I leave, they will all go back. So you want retreat. How do you know? Because the first thing you do when you wake up is not to ask yourself if you will die, but to ask if Zhou Anren is safe. I didn't speak anymore. At this moment, the sound of the system suddenly sounded. This time, it didn't scream. It's mechanical. It's cold. The core of the plot is damaged. In 7 days, the world will start again. After restarting, all plots return to their original state. The abnormal host Sumi will be permanently erased. The sun outside the window was good, but I feel like I'm standing in ice water. 7 days. The world restarted. I looked at Lin Yihui. He looked at me too. I said, it gives a deadline. How long? 7 days. Lin Yihui nodded. Enough. I was stunned. He picked up his phone and spoke calmly. 7 days. You can do a lot. On the first day of the countdown to the world restart, the Scumbag Appraisal Institute suspended new orders. I call all my core customers to the company. Zhou is here. Su Man is here. Yi Zhuan also came. There are also a few women who have been helped by us before. Someone just broke off the engagement. Someone got custody of the child. Someone got out of her husband's debt trap. They were sitting in the conference room and looking at me. I am not hiding the danger. Of course, I can't say the world restarts. As soon as these words were spoken, my throat would tingle. So I put it another way. Lu Qingze won't stop. I looked at them. There is a larger network of interests behind him. What he wants is not only the cooperation of the Qiao family, nor is it just hiding his illegitimate son. He wants to shut up all those who know the truth. Zhou Anren nodded. I have asked the Qiao family to sort out all the cooperation records with the Lu family. Su Man said. I have a record of his transfer money to me and my child over the years, as well as a recording of him asking me to take my child abroad. Yi Zhuan put a hard drive on the table. Zhou Qiming and Lu Qingze have investment dealings. I found the early mail. I looked at them, and my heart was suddenly very quiet. The system says that women will only be jealous, misunderstand, and fight for men. But now, they are all sitting here. They didn't fight. They are handing in evidence. I open the whiteboard and write down a few notes. The marriage contract between Zhou Anren and Lu Qingze. Su Manhwa had an illegitimate son. Yi Zaiwan's public opinion case. Lu Cheng's capital flow. Lin Yihui's business proj. ECT, my scumbag laboratory. These are the key points of the plot. As long as all these nodes are reversed, the system will completely lose support. Lin Yihui stood next to the whiteboard and added, Lu Cheng's biggest fear is not a relationship scandal. It is a financial problem and a criminal problem. Zhou Anren said. The Qiao family can publicly terminate the reason for the cooperation. Su Man whispered. I can disclose the identity of the child. I looked at her. Are you sure? This can affect you and your child. Su Man held the cup, his fingertips white. I used to be afraid of publicity. I'm afraid that others will scold me. I'm afraid that my children will be pointed at. And I'm afraid that Lu Qingze doesn't want us. She looked up, but he didn't want us in the first place. He just hides us. Her voice was still shaking. but her eyes were clear. I don't want my children to keep secrets for the rest of their lives. Xiao Anren looked at her. I will ask the Xiao family's lawyer to help you deal with the rights and interests of the children. Su Man was stunned. She didn't expect Xiao Anren to help her. Don't you hate me? Xiao Anren was silent for a while. I hated it. She was very honest. But then I figured it out. You are not the problem in my marriage contract. Lu Qingze is. Su Man's eyes were red. The two women did not hug or say beautiful words. But I know that some old plots are completely broken at this moment. The next day of the countdown to the world restart, we began preparing for the launch event. The external name is Scumbag Appraisal Institute Business Description and Women's Rights and Interests Evidence Protection Conference. In fact, this is a concentrated counterattack. We want to put Lu Qingze and all those people he associates into the light in a public place. Lin Yihui is responsible for commercial evidence. Xiao Anren is responsible for the cooperation documents of the Qiao family. Su Man is responsible for illegitimate children and transfer records. Yi Jiwan is responsible for the investment chain of Zhou Qiming and Lu Qingze. I am responsible for stringing all the information into a clear line. The system kept punishing me. Sometimes it is a sudden loss of voice. Sometimes it is a tingling in the heart. Yes, it is dark in front of you. But every time, I got through it. Lin Yihui didn't stop me. He just arranged medicine, water, doctors, and safety personnel. He knew I wouldn't stop, so he doesn't say don't do it. He just allowed me to keep doing it. On the third night, I sorted out the materials in the office until the early hours of the morning. Lin Yihui hadn't left yet. He sat on the sofa and looked at the documents. The light fell on the side of his face, making his silhouette look cold. I asked, "Aren't you tired?" He didn't look up. Tired? Then you won't go back yet. You didn't reply either. I laughed. Mr. Lin, you are so easy to misunderstand employees. He looked up at me. What did you misunderstand? I was just joking. But when he asked this, I stopped. The air was a little quieter. Lin Yihui put down the document. Sumi, when this matter is over, I want to talk to you seriously. My heart beat half a beat slower. What are you talking about? Talk about my feelings for you. He was too direct. There is no ambiguous temptation. No detour. I didn't know how to answer for a while. He didn't force me either. Not now, he said. Now you have to survive first. I looked at him and suddenly felt a heat in my chest. The system once said that Lu Qingze is the male protagonist, but the real male protagonist should not be the one who makes all women suffer for him. The person who is really worth getting close to is someone who see your choices and respect your choices. On the fourth day, Lu Qingze began to fight back. A lot of black material about me suddenly appeared on the internet. Say I blackmail customers. Say I falsified evidence. Say I make money using women's pain. Some people also dug up the original owner's pursuit of Lu Qingze in the past. Those old photos were malicious. LY edited. The caption is, love but can't open a company to retaliate against men. Sumi is the real vicious female partner. Xiao Anren, Su Man, and Yi Jiwan were all used by her. Someone started to make trouble at the door of the company. Someone splashed red paint on the signboard. Someone was broadcasting live with a mobile phone and shouted for me to come out and apologize. The front desk was trembling with fear. I put all the employees on vacation, leaving only the security and lawyers. Lin Yihui asked people to record all the faces and behaviors of the troublemakers. I stood by the window and looked at the group of people downstairs. The sound of the system is very soft. Host, admit defeat. As long as you close the company, apologize publicly, and return to Lu Qingze, I can let you live. I asked, live like the original plot. The system says, at least you will exist. Being and being alive are not the same thing. The system sneered. Do you think they will really always be on your side? People will be afraid. People will betray. When the pressure of public opinion is strong enough, they will leave you. I looked downstairs. Suddenly, the first car stopped. Zhou got out of the car safely. She wore a white suit and was followed by the Qiao family's lawyers. The reporter immediately surrounded him. Miss Qiao, are you being manipulated by Sumi? Zhou looked at the camera safely. Nope. Sumi gave me not instructions, but evidence. The second car stopped. Su Man walked down with the child in his arms. She didn't wear sunglasses. The reporter rushed over. Are you Lu Cheng's lover? Su Man's face turned pale. But she didn't hide. I used to believe in his promises. Now I only believe in the law. The third car stopped. Yi Jiwan walked down. She wore a dark blue suit with her hair tied up. She looked completely different from when she first came to me. The reporter asked her, are you instigated by the Scumbag Appraisal Institute to ask for money? Yi Jiwan replied calmly, no, it was they who reminded me that my labor was valuable. One woman after another appeared. They stand at the door of the company. No crying. There is no accusation against each other. They are just on my side. The system was silent. At that moment, I knew it was wrong. Women are not tools that will betray each other at any time in the plot. As long as they know the truth, they can be witnesses for each other. On the fifth day, the press conference was held as scheduled. The venue is in the largest conference hall in the city center. More people came than we expected. The media, lawyers, partners, ordinary audiences, and many people who have been overwhelmed by people like Lu Qingze and Zhou Qiming. I stood backstage and looked at the dense seating understage. The body started to hurt again. I held on to the wall and bowed my head to endure it. Lin Yihui walked up to me. Can you still stand? Yes. If you can't hold on, tell me. I looked at him. If I fall, the press conference will continue. He frowned. I said, promise me. Lin Yihui was silent for a few seconds. Okay. I smiled. Lin Yihui, you are really suitable to be a partner. He looked at me. I don't just want to be a partner. My laughter slowly stopped. The host outside has already begun to introduce the press conference. Lin Yihui whispered, you don't have to answer now. You just need to know that this time, no matter what the outcome is, I'm on your side. I nodded. Okay. The press conference begins. I walked onto the stage. The lights are bright. There are many shots. I stood in front of everyone and looked at the audience. In the past, Sumi probably wanted to stand on such an occasion and become the envied woman next to Lu Qingze. But now, I stand here, not belonging to any man. I am only myself. I spoke. Hello everyone. I'm Sumi, the founder of the Scumbag Appraisal Institute. There was a commotion in the audience. I didn't stop. Today, I don't explain feelings or evaluate love. I only show evidence. The first part is Qiao Anren. She took the stage herself. She made public recordings of prenuptial agreement negotiations. In the recording, Lu Cheng's voice was cold. Are you crazy? Do we need this kind of thing among ourselves? Qiao Anren asked. Do you have any undisclosed children? Lu Chengze replied. No. Then she showed Lu Cheng's records of going to a private hospital and the children's information provided by Su Man. The audience was in an uproar. The second part is Su Man. Her fingers were shaking as she stood on stage, but she turned on the recording anyway. Lu Cheng's voice came out of the stereo. You take your children abroad first. When I get the cooperation of the Qiao family, I will arrange for you to come back. Su Man asked. What about Qiao Anren? Lu Chengze said. She is just a stage. The reporters in the audience took pictures frantically. Su Man looked at the camera, his voice very steady. I am making this public today, not to rob anyone. I just want to fight for my children's legitimate rights and interests, and also to put an end to the lies I once believed. The third part is Yi Jiwan. She showed evidence of Zhou Qiming's embezzlement of results, as well as Lu Cheng's financial records of investing in Zhou Qiming's company. This is not a separate emotional dispute. She said, this is some people who use intimacy to hide labor, assets and responsibilities. After she finished speaking, the audience was silent for a few seconds. Then someone applauded. The applause grew louder and louder. The fourth part is Lin Yihui. He didn't talk nonsense. Directly display the abnormal flow of funds of the Lu family, the shell company Mingyuan Consulting, and the multi-layer transfer records related to Lu Cheng's private account. He handed over the evidence to police representatives and regulators at the scene. The audience was completely in chaos. Lu Chengze broke in at this time. He was armed with a lawyer and bodyguards, and his face was gloomy. Sumi. All the shots immediately turned to him. He stood at the entrance of the venue, his eyes looking like he was about to tear me apart. You falsified evidence and maliciously slandered. I'll make you pay. I looked at him. Mr. Lu, you're finally here. He sneered. Do you think you can destroy me with a few women who have been brainwashed by you? Zhou Anren stood up. No one brainwashed me. Su Man also stood up. No one forced me. Yi Jiwan said. I handed over the evidence myself. Lu Cheng's face became more and more ugly. He looked at Lin Yihui. It's all your game. You used them in order to grab the Lu family's project. Lin Yihui's tone was calm. Lu Chengze, you think too highly of me. He pointed to the big screen. You do these things yourself. I walked to the front of the stage. Mr. Lu, you have always thought that women are easy to control. Let Zhou take care of the whole family. Let Su Man take care of the whole child. Let Yi Jiwan take care of the old love. Let me take care of my reputation. I looked at him. But you forgot. People don't always be afraid. Lu Cheng's eyes were fierce. Sumi, don't forget what kind of person you used to be. You run after me and please me like a dog. What are you pretending to be sober now? The audience was silent. The sound of the system sounded in my head. Admit it. You are a vicious female partner. Everyone will remember your ugliness in the past. I looked at Lu Chengze. Suddenly I felt very calm. Yes, I used to be stupid. Someone in the audience whispered. I continued. I liked someone who wasn't worthy, did a lot of wrong things, and hurt others. So I know even more how important the moment a woman wakes up. I turned my head to look at the camera. I'm not here to prove that men are bad. I'm just here to prove that women have the right to know the truth. You have the right to ask for evidence. You have the right to talk about money. There is also the right to leave someone who hurt her. The venue was completely quiet. Lu Chengze wanted to speak, but the police have already approached him. Chen Bei's confession, vehicle brake report, transfer records, and threat recordings were all on the table. When he was taken away, he stared at me. Sumi, you won't win. I said. At least you've lost. The system cracked in my head. The lights of the entire venue suddenly flickered. My eyes started to darken. The body seems to be pulled by countless threads. The sound of the system becomes loud. The core of the plot is destroyed by more than 80. Start the erasure procedure. A. Normal host Sumi. Delete starts. I saw Lin Yihui running towards me. Xiao Anren called my name. Su Man hugged the child tightly. Yijuan rushed to the stage. But their voices are getting farther and farther away. I stood under the lights and suddenly I couldn't see anything. At the last moment, I heard Lin Yihui's voice. He shouted, Sumi, don't disappear. I want to answer him. But the darkness has engulfed me. I woke up standing in a huge book. All around are white paper pages. The pages are so high that you can't see the end. It is densely written. Those words flowed before my eyes as if they were alive. I saw Qiao Anren's name. Saw Su Man's name. Saw Yi Zaiwan's name. Saw Lin Yihui's name. See my name. Sumi, vicious female partner. I have admired Lu Qingze for many years. Failed to frame Qiao Anren. Was abandoned after being used by Lu Qingze. He eventually died in a car accident. I stood in front of that text. Not afraid in my heart, only anger. It turns out that this is my end. Not because I'm hopelessly bad, but because I was written as someone who had to fail. The sound of the system came from all directions. Welcome to the core of the plot. I looked up. You are finally willing to see me. The system SA. ID. Host Sumi. You have seriously disrupted the order of the story. Now perform the final purge. I looked at the pages. These are the orders you were talking about. A new page of text appeared in front of me. After Qiao Anren got married, he found that Lu Qingze had betrayed him. But he continued to endure because of his family's interests. She had a miscarriage after becoming pregnant. Lu Qingze regretted it. She forgave him. They fell in love again. I sneered. Is this called love? The system says. Pain drives feelings. The next page opens. Su Man lost her child and was scolded by everyone as a woman who destroyed other people's marriages. She had a nervous breakdown. Finally leave the city. The system said. She is a white moonlight character. Her role is to create misunderstandings. Go to the next page. Yijuan was humiliated by the whole network, lost his job, and left for a foreign country. Zhou Qiming had a successful career. The system said. She is a branch female supporting actress. Her pain is used to drive the reader's emotions. I walked forward step by step. What about Lin Yihui? The pages turn. Lin Yihui lost to Lu Qingze and lost control of the company. He became paranoid and tried to take revenge on the male and female protagonists. Finally failed. The system said. He is the villain. Why is he a villain? Because he blocked the male protagonist's success. So Lu Qingze deceives people, transfers assets, and harms people's lives, and is still the male protagonist. Lin Yihui investigated him and was a villain. The system replied emotionlessly. The characters have different functions. I laughed. You're disgusting. The system's voice cooled down. Stories need conflict. Conflict requires pain. Without pain, there is no emotional value. I stopped at my page. It says my whole life. Each line surrounded Lu Qingze. Like him. Chase him. Jealous of Zhou Anren. Frame Zhou Anren. Abandoned by Lu Qingze. Death. It seems that I was born to prove that the heroine is kind. The male protagonist's charm. And the vicious female protagonist deserves it. I reached for the text. A burning pain came from his fingertips. The system says, don't try to change. You are just a character. I asked, who stipulates it? The system said, the plot is stipulated. Who wrote the plot? The system pauses. I continue to ask, who stipulated that women must hurt each other for men? Who stipulates that those who have been deceived should forgive? Who stipulated that people who have paid for 7 years cannot ask for money? Who stipulates that a sober woman is vicious? The pages around began to tremble. The system's sound becomes sharp. Stop asking questions. I didn't stop. You need pain to tell a story. But why is pain always given to women? Why do men make mistakes and women grow? Why do men betray and women reflect? Why do men sin and women forgive? The system said angrily. This is the story structure. I said. Then break it. The voice of the real world suddenly came. Far away. But it is clear. It's Zhou Anren. She continued to speak at the press conference. Sumi didn't manipulate me. It was I who decided to cancel the engagement. It was I who decided to pursue Lu Qingze. On the page. Qiao Anren's original words forgive Lu Qingze cracked. Su Man's voice also came. I won't keep anyone's secret again. I will fight for the name. The rights and the future for my children. Su Man's page began to burn. Not destruction. It is the old text that is burned to reveal new blanks. Yi Zaiwan's voice came. I have registered my own company, my experience, my labor, and my plan will all be written with my name. The words failure to leave the city on Yi Zaiwan's page were broken. Next, it was Lin Yihui. His voice was low and clear. Moving through countless pages, Sumi is not a subordinate character for anyone. She is the founder of the Scumbag Appraisal Institute, the organizer of this evidence chain, and the person who changed all this. My heart hurts suddenly. It is not the pain of systematic punishment. The feeling of being alive is too strong. Lin Yihui continued. She didn't disappear. We won't let her disappear either. The system starts to get confused. Character resistance increases. The plot text is unstable. Core energy drops. I looked around. More and more pages are cracked. Those women who were once silent began to speak in reality. Some customers public. LY thanked the Scumbag Appraisal Institute. Some lawyers came forward to confirm that the information was legal. Some reporters began to ask about the Liu family's funds. Some ordinary people said on the internet, why is it called calculation when a woman wants evidence? Why is it unseemly to talk about money? Why can't the injured fight back? Every problem is like a knife cutting through the pages of the system. I finally understood. The system is not unbeatable. It just kept scaring. Fear of losing love. Fear of losing your reputation. Afraid of being called greedy for money. Fear of not being believed. Afraid to stand up alone. But now, more than one person has stepped forward. I walked to the page that said Sumi ending. The system roared. Stop. You can't tear up the plot. I ignored it. I reached for the page. The severe pain instantly spread throughout the body. My skin felt like it was on fire. The bones seemed to be crushed. The system says, let go. You can live. As long as you admit that you are a vicious female partner. Admit that Liu Qingze is the male protagonist. And admit that everything you do is wrong. I can get you back to the story. I gritted my teeth. What are you going back for? The system says, continue to exist. I laughed. I said that being and living are not the same thing. I tore off that page with all my might. The words on it writhed wildly. Sumi died in a car accident. Sumi is erased. Sumi failed. I said word by word. I'm not a vicious female partner. I'm not a loser in Liu Cheng's life. I'm not a tool to set off anyone. I'm Sumi. The last word fell. And the pages were completely shattered. The whole space collapsed like glass. The system makes a sharp sound. Core damage. The plot restart failed. Role permissions are out of control. The system is about to shut down. Darkness surged up again. But this time, I'm not afraid. Because I hear many people calling my name. Not a system. Not a plot. It's them in reality. Sumi. Sister Sue. Wake up. Sumi. Did you hear me? Finally. It was Lin Yihui's voice. Very close. It's also very dumb. Sumi. You promised me to line up. I opened my eyes. The light pierced my eyes. I was lying in the lounge backstage of the press conference. The doctor is checking my blood pressure. Xiao Anren stood at the door. His eyes red. Su Man held the child. And the child was holding a tissue in his hand. Yi Zhiwan stood on the other side, tears already flowing down his face. Lin Yihui sat next to me. His hand was holding mine, gripped tightly. I moved my fingers. He immediately looked at me. Sumi. My voice was soft. I'm not dead. Lin Yihui closed his eyes. It was like finally letting go of his breath. Well, you're not dead. I looked at him. What about the press conference? Zhou Anren came over. It worked. Su Man said. Liu Qingze was taken away for investigation. Yi Zhiwan wiped away his tears. Zhou Qiming was also reopened for investigation. His corporate board of directors suspended him. Xiao Anren added. The Qiao family has officially sued the Liu family. The police also received evidence of the vehicle case. I exhaled slowly. What about the system? This sentence is spoken. And it hurts. No alarms. There is no punishment. No one in the room understood. Only Lin Yihui understood. He said, it's over. I closed my eyes and felt it. The mind is very quiet. Quieter than ever. There are no orders. There is no countdown. There is no threat. I nodded. It's over. Su Man didn't know what we were talking about. But she still cried and laughed. It's over. 3 months later. Liu Cheng's case officially entered the judicial process. His illegitimate child problem is just the beginning. What really brought down the Liu family was fund transfer, commercial fraud, bribery and deliberate injury investigations. Chen Bai, as a key witness, provided more evidence. The gentle image that Liu Qingze once maintained completely collapsed. Many people wanted to speak for him at first, said he was just a relationship problem. It is said that men make mistakes, said that Xiao Anren was too ruthless. But soon, more evidence will be made public. People finally understand that this is not a relationship dispute. This is deception, profit, and sin. Xiao Anren took over part of the Qiao family's business. She is calmer and stronger than in the original book. Someone asked her if she would regret canceling the engagement. She replied, I only regret knowing too late. Su Man got custody of the child and legal compensation. She didn't wait for Liu Qingze to look back. She moved to a new city and opened a small gallery. She occasionally sends me photos. In the photo, her child stands in the sun and smiles happily. Yi Zhiwan set up his own consulting company. When she first came to the Scumbag Appraisal Center to talk about cooperation, she wore a well-tailored suit and carried her own business card. The business card reads, Yi Zhiwan, founder. She smiled brightly when she handed me her business card. Sumi, I'm really charging now. I said, very good. Remember to charge a little more expensive. She smiled and nodded. Of course. As for the Scumbag Appraisal Office, it did not go out of business. Instead, it became busier. We have expanded our recruitment of lawyers, counselors, financial advisors and survey compliance consultants. The company's business has also changed its name. It's no longer just called a Scumbag Appraisal Office. The official name is Sumi Women's Rights Risk Consulting Center. But the small sign at the door is still there. Black letters on white background. Scumbag Appraisal Institute. Many customers say that they dare to walk in because of these 5 words. I was reluctant to take it off. These 5 words don't sound elegant, Ugh, but it is direct, powerful, like a knife. It reminds me of how I started. How did he survive? The day Lin Yihui came to me was a sunny day. I was standing at the door of the company, looking at the new signboard. He walked over to me. Mr. Su. I glanced at him. Mr. Lin is not busy today. Busy. Then what are you doing? Q. I was stunned for a moment. He looked at me with a shallow smile in his eyes. You said, I'm going to line up. I couldn't help but laugh. Lin Yihui. You have a good memory. I remember everything related to you well. I turned to look at him. He has been by my side for the past few months. He didn't make decisions for me. I was not controlled by love as a reason, nor did I ask for an answer when I was busiest. He just quietly accompanied me to get everything done. Give me resources. Give me support. Give me space. Wait for me too. I asked him. You said that day that you would talk to me once after the matter was over. Yes. Let's talk about it now. Lin Yihui looked at me. His expression was serious. Sue me. I like you. It's simple. There are no long confessions, no exaggerated promises, but my heart was still beating fast. He continued. I don't want to be your savior. I don't want to be your end. I want to be the person you choose. I looked at him. From wearing books to now, I have seen too many men talk about love as possession, speak of promise as a gift, say that a woman's concession is sensible, but Lin Yihui didn't. He said to choose. I love the word, because I finally got my life back. I won't give it to anyone again, even if that person is Lin Yihui. I said. I won't stop working for love. He said. I know. I won't be the woman behind anyone. You should be in front. I don't promise to be gentle forever. You don't need to be gentle all the time. I looked at him and finally smiled. Then you don't have to wait in line. Lin Yihui's smile was even deeper. I passed. Probationary period. How long? Look at the performance. He nodded. Reasonable. The sun is falling on us. Someone came in at the door of the company to consult. The front desk was busy with reception. Xiao Anren sent a message saying that the new project was successfully signed. Yi Jiwan sent a cooperation contract. Su Man sent a photo of the gallery's opening. Everything is moving forward. There is no system. There is no original plot. No one has to suffer for anyone. I stood at the door and looked at the word Scumbag Appraisal Institute. Suddenly I remembered that when I first wore it, the system asked me, then what do you want to do? At that time, I said, I want to start a company. Now I think what I really want to do is not just start a company. I want to prove one thing. A woman's life should not be trapped by lies, shame and so-called plots. Later, many people asked me what the Scumbag Appraisal Laboratory identified. I said, it is not love. It identifies whether a woman is willing to give her life back to herself.